appreciate allowing me to be here to talk about really smart contracts. I know we want to keep this very informative. So it's not about me. It's about us talking about, again, here, how they can be used. But just some background on me. Yes, I have been making video games ever since I was 16. I actually held the first ever video game conference here in Detroit when I was 18. Then I went off to college. Then I found myself in Japan to learn more about the video game industry. Ended up working at a company that made the first ever Japanese blockchain video game, which was wild. So since 2018, I've had a lot of experience of understanding how to utilize blockchain into quality games, not just do gamification, but to actually make some cool stuff. Right now, I'm making an augmented reality pet simulator. So you can actually play with this really cute pet pig in augmented reality, use it to race against your friends actually in live races in your room in augmented reality. And those pigs are simultaneously 3D NFTs, which you can sell. A lot of crazy stuff going on. But to bring it home, what's going on is that all of those things that I'm talking about all exist from smart contracts. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and then kind of speak a little bit more about this. But if anyone has any questions in regards to my history or anything like that, just let me know. And let me see here. So I'm going to share. Okie doke. So just, I guess, Mac, just let me know if you cannot see my screen at this time as I continue, as I continue onwards. So
you're all good. It looks good.
Okay, thank you. So, so everyone, again, thanks for having me here. Let's go ahead and get right to it. So, smart contracts. Anything that you want to do on the blockchain requires a smart contract. If you want to have NFTs, that's coming from a smart contract. If you want to have a DAO, that's coming from a smart contract. If you want to have a DApp of doing all this crazy stuff, from a smart contract. If you want to have a play to earn economy, where when you come onto your game, you're able to play with NFTs and then use them to make tokens like you're doing in my game, you need smart contracts. So it's really interesting that, first of all, the buzzword blockchain, the buzzword smart contracts don't get enough credit as I think that they should, because everyone's really wrapped up in understanding what NFTs are. And I think Mac was kind of talking about that earlier. But if you want to do these things, you know how to make, again, smart contracts. I'll stop trying to say that word so much. But what they are is collections of code, just like anything else when you write a program or you write an app, but they're collections of code that are specifically designed to interact with the blockchain layer and allow you to create and send transactions over the blockchain layer. Because the blockchain itself is a distributed ledger. It is a public ledger that is handling transactions and peer-to-peer transactions and between individuals and organizations or, programs. So the smart contracts are what is allowing those things to happen. And you need them to build up what you want to happen on a blockchain. So some examples of that, if we were to extrapolate and to kind of visualize of what a smart contract can do, is a classic vending machine. I actually used to really like vending machines as a kid. I don't know why I was so fascinated with them. Kind of makes sense that full circle now here I am kind of creating smart contracts and I see a vending machine example. But the aspect of being able to have no person involved and put money in and what comes out is whatever you wanted, some candy, some chips, whatever it might be, is really cool and actually fascinating because there's no middleman. It is, the money is kind of an escrow for a second until you put in your selection, and then out pops it does the transaction and out pops what you want. So that's an example of how smart contracts have used, because they are escrow agents and it's autonomous, right? It's autonomy that is handling financial processes. Another good example could be for flight insurance. When you have decided to, have a trip to Los Angeles or New York, and instead of you having to call somebody if the flight's delayed, being like, yo, I want my money back, it'll instead be like, a smart contract understands or looks up and sees that a flight is delayed, or rather the flight company, when something is delayed, makes a reference to a smart contract, and the smart contract says, okay, we understand who has insurance for their flight, and we understand that the flight has been delayed, so we automatically release X number of funds to that person's wallet, all without you having to call and complain about it. It all happens autonomously. And that's really the power of what we're talking about here. We're talking about smart contracts because we're doing decentralization. There is no need for a third party. There's no centralization. It is, happening in a distributed manner, and it is happening in an autonomous manner. Another cool thing about smart contracts is that once they're deployed, they cannot be changed. It can be updated if when you write the smart contract, you write in there that it can be updated. But in general, someone just can't come in and just tamper with it. And so therefore, you don't have malicious activity because it's out there and it can't be touched. You are the creator. Yes, you are the individual, the centralized person who's made it. But once it's out there, it is open for everyone and everyone can look at it. So that means it's distributed, which gives it more safety and stability. So that's another really cool thing about smart contracts is their security. And then, again, as I kind of mentioned in the beginning, the point of what these things are able to do is that these smart contracts are able to integrate with the blockchain layer, and they build up these, now decentralized applications that we're seeing pop up all over the place to create our own economies. You use them to create cryptocurrencies, you use them to create NFTs. You use those NFTs and cryptocurrencies together to make a blockchain game like I'm doing. And so that's the makeup of what's going on here. So we're going to go ahead and break down exactly how to create a smart contract in a very easy way, because it's going to set you on your journey of creating your own decentralized apps, your own DAOs, whatever it is that you want to do. It's very good to understand this stuff. It's kind of complicated. Actually, it is complicated, but I hope that I'm able to explain it in a very simple way to get you started. So we're going to be actually making a vending machine today. And we're going to be making a vending machine, and I'm going to show you how you can extrapolate that to, again, show how said vending machine, a basic smart contract vending machine, can integrate things like cryptocurrency and NFTs. There's some really cool stuff that can happen with that. And if you follow me, you're going to see some really cool things here. So when you make a smart contract, you need some tools. And you need the tools, the coding language, which is Solidity. Solidity is pretty much the main coding language that's favored for people for making smart contracts at this time. So, some people use C#, JavaScript for websites, right? HTML for websites, C# for apps, Swift for, making an Apple application for your phone. Solidity is that line of code for when you want to make smart contracts. So keep that in mind. Get a book, like Smart Contracts for Dummies, whatever it's going to be. It's going to be Solidity that you're going to want to learn. Very useful. Truffle is good for deploying your contract. It's kind of like a back-end virtual machine that allows you to deploy your contracts to a blockchain. It allows you to test your contracts. So you want to test before you deploy. And then Web3 is obviously, the makeup of how all these things are coming together. Node.js is a package, is a web package, which helps you move from Web 2 to Web 3. So from just basic website to websites that are able to look at wallets like MetaMask and to be able to read smart contracts. Node.js is very good for that. Then you want to have testnets, and then you want Visual Studio. So that's everything that we got to go. So you got to go and download that right now. Just kidding. What we're going to use for this exercise is a really cool integrated development environment, an IDE called Remix.Ethereum, which actually combines all those things together. And then we're going to create a smart contract again, the vending machine. Then we're going to test it out, and I'm going to show you some other cool things. So we're going to go right into it by showing you here. I don't know if I can see any of the questions, but I guess we can get to them later. So again, Matt, just let me know if I need to stop and answer someone's question. But here we are in this program that I'm that's called Remix Ethereum Ide. And again, IDE stands for, I'm pretty sure I put it just to be sure, Integrated Development Framework. So all those tools that I mentioned before are all now visible, are all compiled and aggregated inside of this one little sandbox for us to mess around with. So you'll see on the slides that in the GitHub repository later, you'll have a link to this. All this will be exactly available to you. And then you can go online, you can start looking for other, maybe templates for smart contracts, or just kind of write them yourself right here, because this looks at Solidity and the Solidity, the blockchain coding language, and is able to treat and compile that code. So it's all right here for you. Again, I hope this is useful, because it should be pretty cool. So we're going to go in here into the folder that is in our contracts. And so I have the vending machine smart contract here that I kind of whipped up for everyone. I already kind of have it here written. And this is a smart contract, right? But it's just code. You're like, what? Like, no way. It's just code, John. I thought it was going to be more complicated than that. No, smart contracts are just makeup of, just code. Like I said, it's just you're writing in Solidity to certain things. Solidity has certain functions that specifically interact with the blockchain. So one I want to bring your attention to here is on line 25, where it is a public payable, and the function is to purchase something. So Solidity has something in there to recognize that a specific function is a payable function, which means that when you end up buying something, it's going to require a cryptocurrency of some type, which we can define or is also going to be defined depending upon where we deploy our blockchain. So anyway, I digress a little bit, but just to show you that the code itself is able to interact with the blockchain, and we're going to show you how to put this onto the blockchain. Man, I wish I got some water for myself. I'm a little bit thirsty right now. Okay, so here are the steps right now. I really don't necessarily need to really go through these here, but you're going to write your smart contract over here. You can hit new and then, easily just create your own file. But, here we are again with the one that we're using, which is called the vending machine. And now that our code looks okay, actually, I'm going to just go ahead and, mess up on purpose. We're going to go ahead and compile our code. So we go over here to the S, which is the Solidity compiler. You're going to pick what type of compiler you want. The one that's standard or that was here by default, I'm just going to keep. There's no need for me to change it. The language is Solidity. Yes, I don't really know what Yule is. Go ahead and check that out if you want. And then we're going to hit this compile button. And it's going to be like, yo, wait, something's wrong. On line 7, address. He's like, look at that line. Something there is weird. And obviously it's weird because, well, it's not spelled correctly for the word address. And now it's recognized again as an address in which the public owner of the address is going to be the person who owns the smart contract. I'm writing it, so that makes me the owner. So now it knows that it's going to be like, okay, address of a public person, and that public variable here is the owner, and that is going to be an address, a public Ethereum address. I'm sure in the other sessions you heard about MetaMask and public addresses. You'll see how they relate here, but just more information. So anyway, we're going to hit compile, and it looks like everything's okay. We don't have any errors here, so the code is good. Now we can move on to deploying. Like, we're almost done. We're almost halfway there, right? So we go over to this next bit here, which says deploy and run transactions. Now, this is where it gets a little sticky. So again, bear with me. You're able to pick your environment that you want to deploy your smart contract on. This standard one that they give you is just their environment that they just kind of have. It's a test net. It's their own little blockchain. It's their test blockchain. Whenever I refresh this page, it's always going to be a new blockchain. So it's not anything serious. But they're like, hey, if you want to use our little test blockchain here, go ahead. So that's on them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use injected Web3, which means that it is going to utilize the Web3 that is associated with my wallet. And so I have a MetaMask wallet. Again, you've heard about MetaMask. It is on my Chrome browser. If you don't know MetaMask, you should definitely check it out because it's going to make your blockchain life a lot more exciting, even though you got to always be sure to take care of your passwords. Do not share your seed phrase with anybody. And in all honesty, you should use a hardware wallet when you have your cryptocurrency, but we can talk about that if anyone has questions. But in me using the environment that's injected into my Web3, then I can automatically deploy to whatever network my MetaMask is associated with. So again, I think you can see the entire screen. Let me know if you cannot see my MetaMask up here right now, but I'm logging in. And you can see up there on the top right, it says Ethereum mainnet. This is a test wallet. So you guys are seeing I have $116 in this wallet. Maybe I got a little more money in some other wallets, but this one's for our test purposes. And here you're seeing that I'm on the Ethereum mainnet. Okay, so that means that first it has read my wallet address. You see how it says OXC 69 over here. You can see it's also on the left over here inside of Remix. It says OXC 69, which means that it has now read my wallet. This is a dApp. This website, after all, is a dApp. It's a Web3 dApp. So it itself is using those programs that I said earlier, those packages, Node.js, to make a connection. So this is now being able to connect to a Web3 portion, that Web3 portion being my wallet. So now it reads it. It says, hey, all right, we know you're using your wallet. We know you're on Ethereum mainnet. So now I am actually ready to deploy my contract. I hit that deploy button. I will deploy it. First, I will kind of say what the gas limit is. And let's just be sure that I'm not messing anything up here. So the gas limit sets the max amount of gas that will be allowed for all transactions that are created. And in this case, what this really means is that how efficient you write your code is going to dictate how much gas is used later. And I think I heard in the previous workshop that, everyone here kind of understands that gas is a transaction fee or a tax levied to utilize a specific blockchain. So the more efficient your code is, the less gas is going to have to be borne by you and by your users later on. Obviously this limit here is what, like 30 million or something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my goodness. Come on now, John. 1, 2, I need glasses. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 3 million. So we don't have to worry. Maybe we don't have to worry about it. But if this code was sloppy and bad and I broke that limit, then it would be like, all right, we're not going to deploy the smart contract because your code is so bad. It's way too much gas to be able to do this. So it's not going to be on there. So that's the gas limit that they set by default on there, which you're probably not going to pass. But again, the point is that the more efficient your code is, the less gas you're going to have to pay when you deploy your contract, the less gas that your users are going to have to use to interact with your contract, and everyone will be happier because you have created some really solid code. So we're going to go ahead and hit deploy, and see how it says confirm transaction? You're about to create a transaction on main network. This means that if I hit this deploy button, this smart contract now exists on the main network and I cannot manipulate it anymore. Like I said, it'll be out there. Now, we don't want yet to put this on the main net because once it's there, one, I have to pay Ethereum and I don't want to pay my Ethereum for this exercise. This is a test, right? I don't want to do that. So what you want to use is you want to use a test net. Test nets are very important when it comes to pre-deploying a smart contract. You do everything you want on there. Once it's all right, then you deploy it to mainnet, right? You're going to use Truffle for that. But in this case, we're still using Remix. So what we can do instead is just switch over our injected Web3 over here from Ethereum onto one of the test nets on there. Now, the popular test nets for Ethereum are Ropsten, and Rinkeby. You can see them here. But what's really interesting right now is maybe people here are aware that Ethereum at the moment is a very congested network because it's so popular now. Now, back in my day when I was making blockchain games in 2018 over in Japan, Ethereum was barely being used. So it would only cost us like a fraction of a penny to mint like 1,000 NFTs. Now, when you mint like one NFT, it costs like $100, right? So Ethereum, even the testnets are very congested. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use a layer 2 solution called Polygon and Matic. Maybe individuals here have heard of it. Again, if you want to know more about these, just please ask the question and I'll be sure to answer it. I think I'm pretty good on time right now. So the testnet for Polygon and Matic is called Mumbai. Mumbai is a major city over in India. Polygon was made by a group of Indian people. And so I think they were just trying to pay some homage over there and they chose Mumbai. That's why it's called the Mumbai testnet. And so here, I switched my Web3, injected Web3 over to Mumbai testnet. So you can see on the top right. So now I'm safe. Now whatever I do, I'm not spending my own money. But if this was zero, in your case, if you never connected to a testnet, you're not going to have any funny money or fake cryptocurrency to use. So you have to go to a faucet. And I didn't bring this link up. So we go to Mumbai faucet. So we need to get some fake money so we can, do some to test this all out. So now I'm on the Polygon faucet right here. And again, faucet just means that they give you some fake money. And so I'm going to copy my public address from my MetaMask wallet in here into the wallet address. And I'm going to hit submit. And it says, okay, hey, your request has been submitted. You're going to get some tokens in about 1 to 2 minutes. Let's see how long it takes. This will be a good indicator of how congested the network is at the moment. So it was at what? It was at 0.48 before. And well, we said 1 to 2 minutes, so we're going to see. But the point is that Matic, that fake Matic is going to pop up here. And that means now I have some, fake cryptocurrency to be able to test my smart contract. So we're going to head back. And now I'm ready to deploy. And I'm ready to deploy on to a test network, that test network being the Polygon network. So then when I want to officially deploy onto the Polygon network, I can do that too. But we're testing right now. And we're going to be doing nothing but testing today. Oh, there it is. Cool. So now it went from 0.4 to 0.98. So they gave me 0.5. They gave me half of a Matic token, of a fake Matic token to be able to utilize that. Good sign. That means that the Polygon network is working pretty well right now. So now we are officially ready to deploy our Solidity code onto the blockchain network so that our code can start working with the blockchain network so that we can now begin to do things in a decentralized manner and a financial manner with the code that we have generated. So now we're going to hit deploy. It's going to ask me to pay some gas, some fake gas, to deploy this on here. And it says here that the estimated gas here is 0.007181, which is way better than that 3 million over there before. So that means that this code is pretty succinct and pretty good. And that means we're going to hit confirm. And so I have now paid for it. And now at the bottom, you can see that it is working its magic. It is creating my vending machine. It's pending. It's pending. Again, all this stuff always is dependent upon how well the blockchain is doing. And I am going to be a little bit concerned if this, oh, nice. Okay. Whew. You know, we're live, right? So I'm a little bit worried if it's not going to happen. So you can see that green check mark down there, which means that we have successfully deployed our vending machine smart contract. And by the way, if I did not describe the vending machine well enough, what it's going to do is we're going to put in money and it's going to give us cupcakes. So we're going to put in some funny money or some real money, and we're going to get cupcakes out of it. That's our vending machine. We're going to put in how much we want, and that's the only thing we got in our vending machine. We could put other items in there, but we just got cupcakes for right now. So the smart contract worked. We've done it. It is now on the blockchain. So can we see it? Can we interact with it? You know, there's all this code, but where's the interface? Well, the interface is really on you or on us to make, right? That's the whole point. We made this really cool code. But now if you want to visualize it so you can see things, well, then we have to go and, you know, get ourselves a website. We got to register a domain name. We got to go create some art assets. We got to do all the other, you know, building blocks. But the building block, the initial building block, the genesis is this smart contract itself. So let's check it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy right here. So you can actually see the makeup of the smart contract. It has a purchase, has a refill, it has cupcake balance, and it has an owner. But we're not going to do this here. We're going to do this somewhere else. So I'm going to copy my smart contract. I'm going to go to Polygon scan. Etherscan is, just to show you real quick, Etherscan is where you can put in an address or a hash to see the status of it. So if you were to put in the original smart contract for like Axie Infinity or for Sandbox, you'd see all the transactions that have been interacting with that smart contract in time. We are currently using a test net, so we're looking for the Mumbai Polyscan, and we're going to put our smart contract in here. And you can see that it was made 2 minutes ago. So there, it says contract creation. So the Polygon network, a blockchain, has recognized our smart contract. It's like, hey, it's up there. Looks like it works. Good job. Good on you. And if we hit this contract right here, we're going to see that it's all this code. All this code. And what does all this code mean? So it's like, okay, well, our code's up there, but we want to be able to interact with it in some way, shape, or form. So we can hit verify and publish. And the more you verify and publish your code, the more authenticity it's going to have, the more you can have other people utilize it, and the more trustworthy it's going to be. OpenSea is going to like you more. Your users are going to like you more. So if you can, it's always good to verify your smart contract so people know that you're legit and you're not doing anything malicious. So over here, we're going to verify our smart contract real quick. So here's the smart contract. The compiler, we need to select a compiler. So Solidity, it's a single file, right? If we go back here, it's just that one file that we have. So it's a single file. Let's say, hey, what's your compiler version? I don't know. Oh, yes, we do. We just go back over here. Remember that compiler version right there is 0.8.7. So we go over here and we select 0.8.7. Boom. And it says, what's the open source license that you use? Ooh, good question. Over here, we just add a little bit of a message on the top that says it's unlicensed. Again, you guys will have access to this code. So if you want to be unlicensed, just copy that little copy paste that on there, and it'll be, you know, it'll recognize it. So we're going to choose unlicensed, and then we're going to just move on to continue. And it says enter the Solidity code contract code below. So I'm going to copy paste all the code you see here. And I'm going to put it into here. And again, this verification process is the same if you're doing on Ethereum mainnet, if you're doing on another test net. This is legit. This is what you got to do if you want to verify a smart contract. So just because we're doing it on a layer 2 and we're doing it on a test net doesn't take away from the authenticity and the necessity of this process. So we have now put in our smart contract here. We don't have any constructor, argument, ABI encodes. We're not going to worry about that. You guys can kind of research that if you want to, but we're doing everything right here thus far. And then I just got to hit I am not a robot, verify and publish. And if we did everything okay, that means that this contract will be verified and published onto the blockchain. We're waiting, and boom, there we go. Okay, it's like successfully generated your bytecode and ABI for your contact address. All right, so now we are legit. We are 100% legit. Everyone, we have now gone from creating little tiny bytes of code on Solidity into a smart contract, and now we can go utilize it, and everyone can utilize it themselves. So if you want to see it in its essence, let's go back to checking it out. Like so. And so you see how there's that little green mark on there? You know how everyone has to have like a blue check mark on their OpenSea, you know, collection and says like, oh, check us out. We got blue check. We're legit. Well, we're legit here too, because we have a green check mark on our contract. It has been verified. And that means that we can begin to interact with it. Now, anyone can interact with it if we were to have it on our own website, but we don't have our own website for this. So we're going to keep on using testnet here. So where it says the right to contract, this is me pretending to actually utilize the contract. So we're now going to utilize our vending machine, connect to Web3. So it's like, okay, connect to Web3. All right. Now it's connected to my wallet again. And we're going to purchase some cupcakes. Okay. Now, if you look in the code, it says that you need to have 0.1 Ether in order to buy a cupcake. So I want to purchase 2 cupcakes. And some easy math. What is 2 times 0.1? Anybody? 0.2, that's right. Okay, so we're going to put in 0.2 in here. And that is, oh, did I have it flipped? Oops, I have it flipped, my bad. I need to purchase, I actually don't know. Actually, I messed up. It's going to be one or the other. We're going to find out in a second. I'm trying to purchase, I'm utilizing 0.2 cryptocurrency, Ethereum here, or Matic in this case, to purchase an amount of 2. Right, so that's correct. All right, so I'm going to hit right. And now I'm basically interacting with my own contract. I'm interacting on the blockchain with my contract right now. So this was a website and it was a vending machine, you know, and be like, hey, welcome to John's vending machine. We're open for business. You want some cupcakes? Go ahead and put in your money. And we put in 0.2 because we want 2 cupcakes. And now the blockchain is saying, okay, verify this contract. Verify this transaction. And we need to pay 0.2 Matic for it, along with some gas. 0.000 because it's really low because the code is efficient. So the whole thing is costing us 0.200100255. We hit confirm. And it says view your transaction. Why not? Looks like it's still happening. Maybe it's already done. This is not showing up yet. And if we want to confirm, we hit read contract, because remember, writing and reading are different things. We're going to read a address. We're going to read my own address, copy it here. And we're going to query. And it says right there, what is my cupcake balance? 2. I maybe should have showed you before. It would have said 0. Trust me, I didn't have any cupcakes before this exercise. I put in there, and now it says 2 because we wrote it, and this transaction is probably done. Boom. So the transaction was a success. That means I spent that 0.2 Matic in order to get my 2 cupcakes. And when I go to my read contract, it is there. I now have 2 cupcakes, and we're done. Anyone else could do this as well. If you were to give me your public address right now, Mac, if you had an address right now you wanted to give it to me, I would go over here and we would put it in here, and it would probably say that you have no cupcakes. In fact, let's go ahead and see. I got another test address on here. Oops. Oh, there we go. I got another one.
What address? Is this? I wasn't watching all the way. Is this Ether or is this?
Well, that's the interesting thing. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to do this. I'm just messing around. Like I'm already.
Okay.
So we're just
all
kind
right.
of.
Okay,
but actually, that's a good question though. Is that Polygon is Ethereum compatible? It utilizes it's an EVM machine. So technically, if someone gave me just their Ethereum based address, it would still read the same thing. It would still say 0 cupcakes, and I could still give them cupcakes. So that's the cool thing about Polygon, is that I could still use anybody's smart or public address if it is a Ethereum-based address, and I can still give them cupcakes, even though we're on the layer 2 solution, because Polygon is compatible with Ethereum. So is Binance Smart Chain. So is Avalanche and some other cool ones as well. So I won't really go through the whole point of going over to another one and kind of showing you. But gang, that's really it. That's exactly how you go, and you can use the sandbox of Remix Ethereum to create your own smart contracts and go through testing them through these stages. And again, when you want to really deploy it, then you're going to switch your network over here. Did I do it anyway? To Ethereum, and then you could send it right live onto the main net. That's all you got to do. You just got to, get good to write your code, know your code works, test it, testing, and then when you're ready to deploy. You can use this. I'd still recommend utilizing the actual tools that exist, but this is a really good way for you to get started. So just to extrapolate, to kind of show you how something like a vending machine could work, you have something here called a vending machine. In Japan, they have vending machines called gacha machines. That's because they make a sound called gacha when you turn it, kacha kacha. But other individuals, I mean, really anyone knows what these kind of vending machines or these gacha machines are. If you ever went to the grocery store and then outside you wanted one of those toys and you didn't know what you want, but you really wanted, like, I don't know, the helicopter or whatever that was inside the plastic container, you put in a quarter, maybe two, you would turn it, and then out would come out the helicopter, hopefully, or maybe something else random. That is a gacha machine. I think they actually really did come from Japan, so that concept came from there. But it's the same thing, right? It is a vending machine. So here we actually have a smart contract version of that. We're actually doing it in our own game, but I wanted to show a service that actually does do it. So if I click on this, you're going to see a whole bunch of little gacha machines or vending machines. But in this case, with our vending machine, we just had you putting in a cryptocurrency token, and then out came this random item, right? That could be used on our website, but it's not an NFT or anything. But if you were to make NFTs as well and put them into, your smart contract. So if the cupcakes here, if those cupcakes on line 27, on line 15 in the constructor, if they were NFTs, then what would happen is that when you use it, out would pop an NFT. And so that's the application, right? So we went from our basic understanding of a vending machine to understanding our understanding of a vending machine in terms of a smart contract, to understanding how you can begin to combine the elements of smart contracts to create things like, or to leverage things like cryptocurrency and NFTs to create your own type of virtual vending machine that can do that. And so here's an example of it. And if I just hit try me, here's all these bells and whistles here. So, all right, I don't know. I'm going to pick one. I'll pick this fourth one. I don't know if you could hear that, but there's some action. And so this, I guess, is an NFT or whatever, maybe. I mean, it's an example of how, this can work. So it's just a try me. So, you could put all different type of things inside your vending machine, all different types of NFTs, and you could have a probability depending on, whatever it might be, that a certain one's going to pop out. And so I think this service is really cool. Can I not leave? Will they not let me leave until I open them all up? All right, there we go. And so this service here actually has these NFT, they're called gacha machines, that do exactly that. And so here it says, like, put in 20 DAI. I think, again, you guys heard about DAI. Put in 0.005 Ether, just to play with these things. And I'm not going to really do it. But inside are random NFTs that might have some type of utility. That's a whole other conversation about the utility of NFTs. I really feel like NFTs should have utility. But, these are going to be little PFPs. But the point is that, the fun here is that we're utilizing cryptocurrency to kick out something that we might be able to use somewhere else. And that is how you build, adapt, utilizing all of the cool things that exist on the blockchain. So again, we went from our very basic example of this basic code here to showing how it can exist on the blockchain, to showing how you can make an interface for it to be able to do exactly that. And that's all I got, gang. So thank you so much. As I said, this tutorial, this workshop is available on here. The link's on here. Everything's on here. You can always, hit me up and ask me some questions if you want to. I always have my own projects that I could chill and talk about, but that's not what we're here for. I think I got my Twitter up here. So here's my information. So thank you so much. and I open up to questions. Mac, take it away. Thank you so much for having me here. I really hope this was useful. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing what people make, and I hope that you choose to endeavor into the space, because you can do a lot with it. It's lucrative if you do it the right way, and it's very innovative if you do it the right way as well. But test first, deploy after, and have fun.
Oh man, great, man. This was actually super dope. So yeah, we got a couple of questions. So Jennifer was asking, well, let's see here. I guess I got to do the first one first. Pierre had one. Is the Remix IDE only online? Can the coding be done with a tablet with access to the cloud? I am thinking yes, but will love John's response.
Yes, this is a cloud. I think they actually have a desktop version. Hold on. They might have a desktop version. No desktop. This is a web-based tool. Yes, it is. Which means that you could, you know, easily access it from your tablet as long as you have internet access. I don't see, why am I thinking that for some reason there was a desktop version of this? I don't know why, but you would download a backup. I don't know what that means. It's just a project. But no, this seems to be specifically for web. So therefore you could use it on your tablet. And I don't really know why you want to integrate cloud on there, or whether, I'm not saying you can't. I'm kind of confused on exactly what element of that is necessary or important to you. But I kind of hope that answered your question a little bit, but please follow up and let me answer it clear.
Yeah, I think Pierre's probably asking, can he just, you know, can he do it from his tablet? You know, sometimes you don't, like for me and my wife, you know, she's like, oh man, you taking your computer everywhere? I'm like, yes, I'm taking it everywhere. But so maybe he wants to take his tablet and do some smart contract development. I don't know, but yeah, definitely, Pierre, let us know what you're thinking.
The hard part of that is, right, is like you can use this, but you still have to write the code, right? Like I still had to manually write this stuff there. So right. I mean, if you're kind of person who can use a tablet and still write the code on there, more power to you. And again, you're doing test nets. This is a good sandbox for you to do it. But you know, most individuals will use something like, actually, this works, yeah. We'll use something like, excuse my really messy desktop. We'll use something like Visual Studio, right, to do it. And so that's why I was saying that's one of the tests. That's one of the test things that they do. So here is, you know, here's the code inside of Visual Studio. This is the JSON. Whoops, I meant to open the smart contract, but it's you know, the same concept. So you know, a real person who's going to use Solidity is going to have this open, is going to have Truffle open on their like their terminal. So like their work desk is going to look like something like this. You know, they're going to be doing the code over here. Then they're going to be writing like, you know, deploy to, you know, Ethereum there, and that's how they're going to be really doing it. Like it's going to be all just messy code, and then, you know, the web interfaces come after.
Love it. Okay. And then Jennifer was saying, what are the benefits of using Ethereum wallet versus a Bitcoin wallet address?
Bitcoin doesn't necessarily have the what's the word I'm looking for? There's not a lot of decentralized applications that are being built on top of Ethereum. I'm sorry, on top of Bitcoin. The concept of NFTs exists really because of Ethereum itself. Bitcoin is definitely a good tool for financial settlement as a payment method. You know, it is digital gold or in that way. But when it comes to building dApps, websites, when it comes to building actual applications that can utilize a cryptocurrency, you're going to have a really hard time. And dare I say, it's, you know, it just the Bitcoin blockchain itself just wasn't built to do that. It was built to only be really a cryptocurrency. So you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot almost by trying to find out how to do that, as opposed to utilizing a blockchain that is built and has the coding language to do it. Like you can't use Solidity and Bitcoin. Those don't mesh. Solidity only works with Ethereum, therefore works with Polygon, therefore works with Binance Smart Chain. So that's kind of it. There's just more adaptability and usability as opposed to using Ethereum. And I'm not recommending necessarily Ethereum, but that's just the difference between using Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Absolutely. So then let's see here. I think we answered all the questions so far.
Okay.
Let let me ask a couple of questions because we got a couple of minutes here.
Yeah.
Is like one, I want to interview you a little bit. Like what made you want to like jump into the whole um I don't know if you really wanted to jump into NFTs per se, but I think you really was more around video games, right? So what made you a young black man from Detroit thought you can go to Japan and do all this stuff? What gave you the? Because I'm really interested, really quickly, like in your just your I don't want to say brave, but just focus, being so focused and doing something that I like. I don't know. I don't know if you had a whole bunch of black friends that were building video games. I didn't. So what made you like? What gave you the motivation to do this?
One thing to say is I'm really happy that within 2020, I've seen a lot more uh, black game developers, and I'm part of a lot of those communities, and it's really refreshing to see that. And I'm like, where were you guys before? And they're all like, where were you before? And it's amazing how we didn't know like that each other existed. But yeah, so actually this is great because this is kind of like what's in my pitch deck and stuff. But I was working on video games when I was in college and high school and everything. And video games it's very hard to make money. I hate to say that, it's a business at the end of the day. But you want to create beautiful worlds, but you got to be sure those beautiful worlds are able to come up with real world revenue. And by 2012, I saw that, if you didn't have ads, if you didn't have a whole bunch of users, you couldn't do anything. So I was distraught by this. And so I moved to Japan to kind of learn about the art of making video games over there. And I always wanted to go study abroad, or not even study abroad. Well, I was supposed to study abroad, but I couldn't. But I always wanted to go over there and explore this side of myself, this interest in video games. Because when we think about video games, we think of like Sonic, we think of Mario, right? So to me, it was like I needed to make a trip to Mecca to see if I really wanted to do this stuff. So I worked in Japanese video game companies, and to be honest, I didn't like it. I did not like because over there it's a business for them, and we were working all the time. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and so I was really disheartened over the fact I was like, man, it's really hard to make money through video games. But what I saw was that blockchain was able to destabilize that, and I saw this opportunity for it to be lucrative. So I won't lie that my video game process has got me from being a idealist on make the best video game to now being much more of a realist of like, okay, what degree can I make a fun game but also be profitable? And I saw that it was the adoption of new technologies that would give me the best chance to be able to monetize my own products while also having opportunities to explore new technology in fun ways. So I was very pragmatic in my approach. So I saw, how this game was working over in Japan. This game that we made that was called Cryptoink, when you can see it here, where you can breed these cute pigs together and you can, breed them together. You can race them all on the web and trade them for Ethereum and do all these other things. But I saw quickly, even in 2018, I was like, okay, this is crazy because like people are buying these like hotcakes, right? Crypto kitties, right? All this stuff. But at the same time, people are beginning to want more. NFTs themselves are not enough. NFTs have to have utility. NFTs have to be able to find a way to make money in terms of like GameFi, right? So I was like, all right, what can I do to stay on top of this by also having fun? And then that's why I was like, all right, I think augmented reality is going to be the thing. And so I began to take said NFTs and bring them into augmented reality. And so you can then utilize them to play a fun game. And now you can race these pigs, as I mentioned before, in augmented reality. And simultaneously, those things that you're seeing there in this picture are 3D NFTs. So people are playing the game and they're like, oh my God, this is so much fun. And I'm like, oh, that's an NFT. And they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, what do you mean it's not? They're like, there's no way it's an NFT. And I'm like, that's because you think an NFT is only a 2D item. But NFTs have so much more interoperability. That's what interested me. And I decided to follow that passion. And it's gotten me some investment, and it's gotten me hooked up with Niantic. People made Pokemon Go, and it's gotten me pretty far. So I'm an opportunist, and I'm a realist. And I did this to still keep my video game dreams alive, and I'm still able to exercise that to a certain degree.
Man, that's super dope. And I've known the story. I knew the story, but I wanted everybody else to hear the story because I think this is the next wave, right? This is the next wave of companies that we'll see, and I
Yep.
think you're going to see more African Americans being able to jump on this Web 3.0 this time around. So I'm just super happy, super excited that we're able to hear John come talk today. And I think everybody can tell that you really know your stuff. You're passionate about it. So again, appreciate you, John. And what's the name of your company? Let's do a name drop on the company. And
Sure.
if you have the chat there, can you just drop your information in there, like the name of the company, all that good stuff? I know you're going to be doing a launch very soon of the game and kind of doing a pre-launch of what will you be doing? Instead of me telling it, you tell it. What are you going to be doing?
Yeah, I guess I could have show that real quick. Real quick, I think this is a private chat. Oh, here are the comments. Oh, there we go. Dang.
Yeah, we answered most of them. So
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I actually can't write any here. It doesn't seem like I can add any myself. So here's the information here, just right here. I guess I'll just put it.
Or just put it in the private chat and we'll drop it into the public chat for everybody else. Yep.
Yeah. So my personal Twitter is Johnny Okami with an underscore. The project Twitter is Tontachi AR. Yeah. So those are the best things to follow along if you're interested in kind of seeing where the project is going to go. And then, of course, we got our roadmap here of what we're looking to do. So here's our roadmap. And so right now we're finishing up refactoring the game. We're doing our tokenomics prototype. So we're going to be launching our pre-sale of our NFTs at the end of March, along with allowing people to play the game that you just saw. And if you have the NFTs, then you'll be able to actually play the game for free. It's kind of an early access key. So basically, just follow along on Twitter if you don't mind, and I'll have like the site and the official site up really soon, in which we're going to be dropping all this other really cool information by the end of March. That's what we're targeting for. We even got a whole game economy here that is, we have a token that we're going to have. The token is built upon what you do in the actual game itself. I'm actually really proud of the slide because it makes sense. If you look actually on the far right where it says insert bacon into toy machine, gotcha. That's exactly what I was showing. And I was showing you, everyone here, about the smart contract. So we are, again, you play the game, you win races. You basically are able to create a cryptocurrency token called bacon. Pun intended, they're pigs. You burn pigs. You burn pigs, you make bacon. So you put the bacon into a little vending machine smart contract, just like I showed everyone here. You do ka-cha, and then what's going to come out is really cool NFT items that you can either sell to people or bring back into the game. So say one of the rare items you get is a beach ball or a soccer ball. You bring that item back into the game itself, into the mobile, because this is a mobile game. I don't know if I mentioned that. Back into the mobile game itself. And because you have that item, it reads your wallet. It says, okay, hey, you actually have one of the soccer balls. Now your pet can now play with the soccer ball. So you have a whole new feature in the game that's unlocked because you put a coin in to a vending machine and out came an NFT item. So it's like, it all comes together. This is the smart contracts and the makeup of what you're seeing right here, which is called a game economy. Smart contracts makes up all of these cool things that you're seeing. So anyway, please follow along at the end of March. And that's pretty much, I think, everything I got.
John, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Yeah, this was great. So again, anyone hit me up if you have questions, and great initiative, Max. So thanks for having me on here. Catch you later.